What's going on? It's Jason Heath here, and I am really looking forward to talking to you today about two apps that have totally changed my life. And I've been wanting for so many years to get more consistent with my practicing. I know, dirty little secret, but I have not been the world's greatest practicer in, let's say like the last decade or so. And I think so many people, when they get into their career, it's sort of, you get into daily life and you start to not do so much on the instrument and blah, blah, blah. And that totally happened to me. And I went into what I call maintenance mode. So when I had a gig coming up or when I had some sort of thing I had to prepare for, I would put in the time, I would get ready for sure, but I wasn't progressing. I didn't learn a new piece in I think 10 years. Also, I decided about a year ago that I wanted to both get more consistent with my bass practice and start working on a language. I started trying to learn Italian, but it didn't really take. Got back from Italy and I settled down and I said, let's just try to do this every day. So I started using Duolingo every day. I'm on day 254 or something like that today. And can I speak Spanish? No. But am I better? Yes. About the same time, I decided that I wanted to get into a routine of just practicing my stinking instrument. And what inspired me was this app that I discovered about a year ago called Modacity. So I have been using that app to track my practicing. It's got all sorts of great stats. It's kind of like a workout app, but for practicing, but it's kind of a secret app too. It's really teaching you how to think better about your practicing. So I find myself in front of this app practicing every day, and I find myself in front of my iPad working on Spanish. And I can't help but think about the similarities between learning Spanish and learning bass. One thing that Modacity has really helped me with is getting a handle on the different methods of practicing, the different modalities of practicing. And I've come up with 11 general ways that I practice. I've got a PDF that I put together with the hows and the whys of that. You can download that below this video, but here they are. Number one, slow with a drone pitch. Practicing with a drone, love it, love it, love it. It's great for so many instruments, especially a stringed instrument like mine. Number two, practicing in rhythms. That is so beneficial. There are 7 general rhythms that I use that I learned from Jeff Braditich, one of my bass teachers many years ago. Number 3, metronome acceleration. It's such a great way to practice. It's one of the oldies but goodies. It will make things better, especially when you're focusing on the right things as you're doing it. Number 4, small chunks but at tempo. Little bursts with thinking pauses. That's a great way to do it too. Number 5, body awareness. Scanning my body as I'm practicing and just thinking about how I'm using different things. I picture like a blue beam, Star Trek style, kind of going up and down my body and just making sure that I check in with my muscle groups and let them go. Number 6, focusing on a specific technical aspect. For me, a bass player might be string crossings. It might be speed of my bow. Number 7, deliberate practice. And Modacity has been fantastic for deliberate practice. It has a deliberate practice mode, which rocks, by the way. And it makes you think, what do I want to accomplish? How can I accomplish it? Okay, do it. Record yourself. That's what Modacity tells you to do. And then listen back. Did you make improvement? Do you want to do it again? Number 8, visualization. Getting away from the instrument and just picturing myself from different angles performing. That is such a great way to get better. Number 9, audio recording. Love audio recording. Number 10, video recording. They're both great. They're great for different reasons. You learn different things. I like to do a mix of both. And number 11, practicing in front of a mirror. I record myself every day in front of a mirror. I practice in front of a mirror. I love it. It's great. I teach in front of a mirror. I have students look, go get a mirror. So like I said, I spend a chunk of every day both practicing the bass and practicing Spanish in front of the same devices. So I can't help but think about some of the commonalities of doing both. One of the big ones is just inertia. It can be so hard to get going with bass practice. I don't want to take it out of the case. I don't want to figure out what I'm going to do this practice session. But the same thing's true with Duolingo. I don't want to boot up. I don't really want to practice Spanish. But when I get in that groove, practicing Spanish or practicing the bass, and I feel those gains from every day, the cumulative effect. Oh man, I love that so much. And so that's a big commonality for me, just the struggle, the motivation, and then the inertia. Once you get it going, it's just kind of its own thing. It's also hilarious to me, the memory retention, both for music, if I'm trying to memorize a piece, and for my recall in Spanish. I'm both amazed and totally frustrated with myself on a weekly basis. But if I zoom out, which is always a great thing to do, I can see that I'm making steady progress over time. And then the last thing is just how different time passes for me when I'm both practicing music and practicing Spanish. Sometimes I think it's been an hour, I look and it's been 5 minutes. Sometimes I think it's been 5 minutes and I look up and it's been like 90 minutes. So a lot of that is how am I feeling that day? How consistent have I been leading up to that day? And just taking a long view and knowing even if I just get a few minutes in, I'm not breaking the chain. I have found both of these apps, Modacity and Duolingo, to be great for my life. There's a lot of research on both musical learning and language learning, and we've got links below, so be sure to check it out. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't. And also, we have a podcast, we have a newsletter, we have all kinds of ways that we stay in touch, so I'd love to hear from you wherever you hang out online.